This video tutorial is a beginner's guide to using the Eclipse programming tool. Eclipse is part of the family of tools known as an Integrated Development Environment, or IDE for short. IDEs are to programming what Microsoft Word is to writing documents, a powerful tool that accelerates your productivity. Eclipse not only lets you write your code in Java, it also allows interactive debugging, where you can run your program while inside the IDE and see each line of code being executed in the computer's memory. Not only that, you can set breakpoints where the program will run until that specific line of code is reached, and then the program execution breaks and awaits your command. You can examine the state or contents of the variables you have defined and even change the values before continuing to execute your program. Let's take a look at Eclipse. When you first start Eclipse, it prompts you for a workspace. A workspace is simply a folder on your computer where your work is stored. Workspaces allow you to organize similar programming projects together, such as an entire application containing multiple projects, or coursework for a single course. With a new workspace, go ahead and close this, and now you're left on the main screen. On the left is Package Explorer, which is where you'll see your Java projects. You have tasks on the right and outlines, which we're not going to look at today. Let's begin by creating a new Java project. You can either click here, or you can also choose File, New, Java Project. It is important that it be a Java project and not an ordinary project, because Java projects are pre-configured to have a Java runtime environment associated with them. So I'm going to create Hello World. I'll accept the default environment for Java 11. When you get to the modules screen, you can just click Don't Create. That's not important for this lesson. Now that we have the basic package built, you'll notice that it has the Java runtime environment listed, and there's also an SRC folder. This is where your source code is going to be stored. So let's start by right-clicking on SRC and choose New Class. I'm going to call my class Hello World as well. And I'm going to check the box to say create a public static void main method. This is the starting point for running a Java program. When I click Finish, you can see it's added the Hello World Java program in the default package. And you can also see the code here. Now at this point in time, I want to look back at this project structure. So you've got Hello World, you've got the reference to the Java runtime environment, and you've got the source folder. If I right-click on this and choose Show in System Explorer, for whatever operating system you're running, whether it's Windows, Mac, or Linux, it will open up the appropriate thing. So here on Windows, it's Windows File Explorer. But you notice there's my Hello World project, there's an SRC folder. If I go up to Scratch, which is what I call my workspace, then there's my one project. We'll come back to this later. So now that I've got this together, I'm going to go ahead and start writing some code. System out. Now notice as soon as I start typing, I get pop-up prompts. You won't get this with Notepad or Notepad++ or a plain text editor. You get it with an IDE that is intelligent enough to know that you're writing Java code. So I can either accept the prompts, or I can keep on typing more to filter it further. So now, once I selected print line, it finished it, and it also put in the closing semicolon. Notice if I remove that, then it immediately shows me an error. And it tells me what the error is if I hover over the red X. So this is one of the powerful benefits of having an IDE, is it helps you program. Notice too, when I press a single quote, it's going to automatically add a second quote, because it knows that if you're going to have one, you need a closing quote with it. So I'm going to type Hello World. Now I'm going to save this project, and I'm going to run the project. And as soon as I do, you can see here in the console tab below, Hello World is printed. Let's go back and look at the Windows File Explorer. Here's my Hello World project, but notice there's my source folder with the Hello World Java, but if I go up, there's also a bin folder. This is where the compiled Java class is located. But I didn't do any compiling. Eclipse takes care of that. As soon as you click Save, it compiles in the background whatever it can. So now, let's add a second project. I'm going to right-click in the white space. You can also just do it up here, File, New. I'm going to choose another Java project, and I'm going to call this one, let's call it Calculate. We're going to use it to calculate the area of a circle. I don't want a module. Now you see I have two projects. And if I look here in my workspace, I have two project folders. So now I'm going to create a new Java class. I'm going to call this class Circle. And I'm also going to create a main method. So now at this point, I'm going to start by, let's say, first we're going to take a scanner for input. So I'm going to type scanner space my variable name. Now notice as soon as I start typing it goes red because it doesn't know what these things are. This is not valid Java syntax. But if I click this X, it knows that it needs to have an import statement, and it even offers to do it. So if I double click, you watch above here where it says public class circle, it's going to automatically put the import in, and now that red X goes away. And I can say scanner equals new scanner system.in, semicolon, and I've got valid legitimate Java. So now at this point, I'm going to put a comment here. We're going to say display prompt and accept input. And I'm going to do, let's see, system out print line. Put a quote in there. We're going to say input the radius. Semicolon at the end. And I'm going to need a variable to store this in. So let's do a double. We're going to call it radius. Down here I say radius equals scanner, because that's my variable name. Notice it highlights the variable I'm referring to. Dot next double. Put a semicolon there. Now I still have valid syntax. Once I've got this, I'm going to need to calculate the area. In order to calculate the area, we need the formula for calculating the area of a circle is pi r squared, which means I'm first off going to need a constant. In fact, I'll replace this here. Oops. And the constant is going to be final double. I'm going to call it pi equals 3.14. And I'm going to need an area. So now I can go ahead and calculate the area as equals pi times the radius. And radius squared is actually radius times radius, so to keep it simple, we'll just do it this way. Pi times radius times radius. Now that I've gone this far, I want to display my result. Do system out print line. And I'm going to print and then system out, oops, print line, and we're going to print area, semicolon, save it. Before I do anything else, let's go back and look at calculate. We'll look in the bin folder. There's a class file that got compiled in the background. I have no errors. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And there I am, input the radius right here, and it's waiting for input. So I'm going to put in 10.5. When I hit enter, The area is 346.185. So now you can see I've got a second working project. So here in Eclipse, I've been able to create 2 projects. Each of them have programs in them or Java classes, and I can run either one. If I want to go back and run Hello World, if I click on this tab, so this is a displayed class, then I can click Run and I get Hello World. If I click back to Circle, I can click Run, and you can see it starts to run. Now here it's still running because it's waiting for input here on the scanner line. I can go to this line right here, or this box, and I can click Terminate to stop it from running. Now you can see how powerful Eclipse is and how quickly and easy it is to set up a new Java project. And that's an important concept. You do not just write Java class files anywhere. You have to create a Java project and put your class files in the source folder. Then everything will fit together by default and work, compile in the background, and you'll be able to run it and debug it if necessary. Thank you.